Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Tech Skill Builder. In this session we are going to learn what will be the how will be the project structure of any React Native application. So we have created application by using npx React Native Community CLI hello world, and then we have run on Android and iOS by using npx React Native run Android for Android and npx React Native run iOS for the iOS execution. So whenever we'll create any React Native application, then we'll see the folder structure and file structure will be like this: Android, iOS, node modules, states, app.js, index.js, app.json, babel config.js, metro.config.js, package.json, .ignore file, readme.md file. So let's look at our VS Code. So this is just recently created a simple React Native application. In that we have seen like test. This is for unit test cases. This Android, build, iOS, node modules, app.json, app.tsx, babel.config.js, index.js, JS file, and metro config.js. So React Native default project structure and purpose of each folder and files. So we have seen like in our VS Code, the Android folder is there, right? That contains Gradle files. Let's look at this. So Android folder, in that Gradle files are there. Gradle.properties, setting.gradle. In app folder, src, main, Java. So main activity.kt and main application.kt, Android manifest. So we'll look into each and every files details. So Android contains Gradle files, Java or Kotlin code, and Android manifest. So Android manifest is one of the important file in case of native Android. It's a blueprint that tells Android system how your app is structured and what it needs to run properly. Okay, so if you are using Kotlin, then it will be the main activity.kt or main activity.java. This is your main activity, or your Android manifest will tell which is the starting point of your application. So this Android manifest is used for the Android specific customization or linking native models. In Android manifest, we can also add user permission, like to access the camera or gallery of Android phone. Then we need to specify the user's permission in Android manifest. So there are lots of things that we learn later. There is a iOS folder that we also have seen. There is a iOS folder. This is Android. This is iOS. This is iOS related code. So iOS folder includes Xcode project files, app delegates, info.plist. Like Android manifest, there is a info.plist file in case of iOS. All the permissions, all the key values, API key, and all that we can include in the info.plist. Used for iOS specific configuration and native integration. Then we have seen the node modules. In our VS Code, we also have seen there is a node modules. So what is a node module? So node modules is automatically generated folder that store all npm packages your project depends upon. So whenever even if suppose we are creating the new project, so there are some dependencies or packages that internally React Native will install, and that will comes into the node modules. Even if suppose we are installing any new packages, that will comes into the node modules. Another is tests. So this is a unit testing related folder that contains sample or simple JS test files. You can expand this unit and integration testing later for each your whatever the components you are going to write. So purpose of each file, each folder and file that we are looking at. So app.js. So app.js in our VS Code will go again. Where is the app.js? So this is a app.ts in our case because we have written the code in TypeScript. Okay. So in our case, you can say app.tsx. Okay. So this is a main React component. This is where your application UI and the logic begins. Okay. So this is a React components. We know our React Native or React, this is a component based architecture. So that's why we are saying this is a main React components where your, I mean, execution start, or this is the entry point you can say. So what is another file? Index.js, the register, the root component app. So this is our root component app.tsx or app.js with native runtime using app registry. So we'll look into the index.js, what is in this. So this is your, we have imported our app component and it register in the app registry. Okay, likewise we need to register. Okay, so index.js of your React Native project is the entry point of your application. Okay, so app.js is your main component and index.js is your entry point of your application. Now also we have the app.json. It defines basic app metadata like name, display name used by CLI tool. Okay, so this file is used to indicate your application name. So we'll go to app.json. See, your display name will be the, you can change here, I mean project sample project structure. So whatever you want here you can change sample project structure. Okay, so your app name and display name will be in the app.js. Another file is babel.config.js. Configure the babel to transpile modern JavaScript and JSX. So that we'll see later. Metro.config.js, optional file to customize metro builder behavior, assets resolution and all that we'll look into later whenever we'll use. So another most important file in our React Native project structure is package.json. In this package.json, there are lots of dependencies, script, how to run the project, what is the command for to run on the Android, to run iOS, and project information to npm or operation. So let's look at our package.json in our application, what it is include. So there are some script, your application details, version, name, and the script how to run on Android, how to run on iOS, and some other testing related JS. If suppose you have written the test cases, you can do by npm test. And dependencies. So right now it's a basic structure, so we don't have any third party or other packages install or dependencies install. So package.json is for the list of dependencies. It includes the script and the project information. Okay, another thing is .git ignore. It's a git related file. In that file, this file specifies like files and folder git should ignore. If suppose these are the node modules, there is no need to push these node modules in your git repository, so we are excluding this. So let's look at the .git ignore. So here it is specified like don't include the Xcode part, build, and these are the files. We also have included like node modules, don't include this one because these are the large files and that is not required, because every time we will do npm install, it will install the node modules freshly. Okay, so we understood the use of .git ignore. And then readme file. So this is a file where you can write the execution, what's the project about, how to execute the project. So this is a markdown file for project documentation and great for onboarding or sharing to the other person. Okay. So I hope you understood the project structure of any React Native application that first time created. So we have seen there is an Android folder, there is a iOS folder. This is native Android is for the native Android code where Java and Kotlin will be there. In iOS folder, native iOS code is there, Objective C, Swift. Node module, this is a install dependencies. Okay. And test folder, it's a sample test file, JS. And app.js is a root component of the our React Native application. We also have seen index.js. This is a entry point of the React Native application. We have seen app.json, that app configuration name and display name will be there. We also seen Babel config.js, Babel compiler setting, metro config.js. It's a metro builder configuration. Another important file we have seen like package.json. This all the dependencies, script, and your application name you also will in the package.json. If suppose you want to add any new packages, that will go into the package.json. We also have seen git ignore, where git related file that we want to ignore any folder, like we have seen like node modules that we have ignored in the, we have it specified in the .git ignore file. We also have seen readme file, in that all the project documentation, how, what is the project about, what are the modules we have used, how to execute this project. So all these details will be in this uh, readme file. I hope you understood this basic structure of any React Native application and their uses. Step by step, whenever we'll enter into that particular area, I will explain again. Okay. So I hope you like this video. Then like and subscribe and notification on, so that you will get another interested topics in React Native or other technologies that you can